Hey, this is Helen Martis, and today I'm going to interview my USA bestie, which is Randi Light, and I'm just waiting for her to come on to the screen, and we're going to talk about the most powerful way to hold hypnosis sessions. So Randi is a awesome. Here she is. Bring her onto the camera. Hang on. Okay, Randy onto the camera right now. Here we go. Yay! Awesome! We did it!
Oh my gosh.
So there you
Huh?
go. Here we are. And I am from Melbourne, Australia, obviously. And Randy, where are you from?
I am from Ogden Dunes, Indiana, on the southern tip of Lake Michigan.
Okay, and it seems like what's the weather like at the moment over there on your side?
Oh my God, we had tornado warnings yesterday, and I even went downstairs. So it's been cold. It's supposed to be warm. It's about to enter into summer,
Yeah.
but I had on my winter jacket and a hat when I
Oh, did
went.
you? Well, we're freezing here in Melbourne. I've just come back from the Gold Coast in Queensland, and Gold Coast is always perfect weather. The tagline that Queensland has is "It's beautiful one day, perfect the next," and it really is. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and the sun is shining, and I've come back to Melbourne, and it's freezing.
Same here. Same here. Freezing.
So I'm going to introduce you and talk about our relationship. So I first met Randy the very first time I went to America, the United States, when I presented at the Heartland Hypnosis Conference, where she was also a presenter, and that was back in 2016. And we hit it off straight away. We fell in love with each other straight away. She's my dancing partner when we do dancing. And what we found really quickly was that the way that we do our therapy with our clients is very similar. So we have the same ideology and the same principles. And when I saw Randy present, I thought, wow, this girl, she thinks like me, and she's absolutely awesome. And I learned so much from her watching her presentations. And so I thought, what a great opportunity. And so did Randy. We thought, what a great idea is to just talk about, first of all, I want to introduce you as a person, Randy, and, tell me, how did you come into the world of hypnosis?
Well, that's a great question. And I just want to say it was just so fun to meet you and dance with you and to realize that we're from the opposite ends of the planet, yet we do such similar work, which is so cool. I got into hypnosis because I was a massage therapist and I needed a way of helping people heal that did not use my body because it started hurting. And I had no idea really that hypnosis could do that, but I found out I could do a 2-day training for about the same amount of money, just an introduction for about the same amount of money it would cost for like one private session. So I went to just kind of check it out, and then I did another 2 days, and I was like, this stuff's cool. It was awesome. So I had no idea that it could help people's pains go away or anxiety or depression. And what was really cool too, Helen, is when I was a little girl, I used to hypnotize people. Like I didn't realize that. Like all of a sudden it dawned on me one day that I used to do that on the bus. So I was like, oh my God, that's wild.
How did you do that on the bus? How did you hypnotize people on the bus?
Well, I think I must have gone to some event where there was a hypnotist, and I mean, all I remember is I would do this thing where I would go up their arm, and when I'd get to here, they'd like be asleep or go into hypnosis. And I mean, I don't have a lot of memory, but I was it was like, oh my God, and then the person would do all kinds of things, and it was hysterical.
Awesome. And we've got a few people online as well. And Eileen saying, love you too. We love you too, Eileen, gorgeous lady. And it's so awesome. You know, what I love about our profession is that, you know, when we connect, it's like we've never been apart and we support one another. It's not like other professions where, you know, they're not passionate about their work and so they're all on their separate journey in terms of earning money and doing what they need to do and just paying the bills. But we love what we do so much. And you talked about the fact that, you know, you got into this because you wanted to heal people. So tell me as to what was the driver that you wanted to heal people? What was that about?
Well, remember, I was a massage therapist, and I could only do a couple of massages a day, and my fingers started hurting, and it was literally was very difficult for me to twist things. And then I saw my mother's fingers, which were all bent, and you know, so I've been dealing with um, chronic pain issues because when I was in my 20s, I had one of those pivotal moments in your life where I was taking gymnastics because I had been a gymnast. I mean, I graduated college, did not want my degree, was in marketing and psychology, but that was the minor. And so I decided I was probably going to get this master's degree in environmental education, but I moved to Oregon in the process. And I was lifting these kids out of the gymnastics pit, that foam pit, and I had one of those moments where I mean, I think my sacroiliac joint moved and discs herniated, and I was in pain from head to toe for 3 years, and nobody could fix me. Nobody could make me better. I tried everything, and eventually it got to a tolerable point, but I couldn't even sit for 5 minutes, and that really got me on my journey of wellness. So, you know, but I didn't realize that when I read a book on chronic pain by Dr. John Sarno, I think during the hypnosis, while I was a hypnotist, it changed my perception of the pain that I carried for 20 years because this doctor told me I would have to deal with it the rest of my life. So I don't know if I answered the question.
No, you did.
But
You absolutely did. So you talked about how really by healing yourself, you then wanted to heal others.
yes. And I just have a passion. I've been reading, we have this book, I don't know if you've heard of it, Prescription for Nutritional Healing. And it's this big, thick book. So I used to like lay in bed at night and read that book to find out what herbs are for what this thing. So I've always had a passion. And I always thought of myself as a healer, even though I didn't even know what that was, you know,
Yeah.
when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah. That's beautiful. And you know, every time I go back to the United States, I love spending time with you. I love your energy and your beautiful soul. And so we thought that today that you would talk about, you know, what is the, you know, you have very powerful means of helping your clients transform in your sessions. So let's talk about what your methodology is.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with when my clients get an intake form and they bring it, and when they come to my office, they have to sign an agreement. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the main point of the agreement is at the bottom. They have to promise to stop self-criticism, to become, you know, stop getting down on themselves and become their own BFF, their own best friend forever. So that is that. If you want to work privately, you have to sign an agreement. And then I just think that is one of the most important things. So that is the start and the premise to help people overcome anxiety and depression and insomnia and chronic pain too. You promise to learn to love and accept yourself. And so what I do is I wrote a book. This is the book, and it's a training manual for hypnotists, and I'm doing an online training for people, but let me tell you about it. So this is and you know about this, but
I do, because we use it here at HypnoFit. So I bought one for my hypnotherapist here, and it's a really fantastic book, very powerful.
Thank you, and that's so cool. You know, I just love it. But all these opposite sides of the world, yet we're so similar and have the same passion to get hypnosis to be the first thing, not the last thing that people go to. But so this is a 4-session system that gets you from where you are to where you want to be, and it's 4 sessions that I just had no idea would be so powerful. But it answers the question: you know, your client's going to give you 4 sessions. What are you going to do in those 4 sessions? Even if they're going to give you 8, I still think these 4 sessions are the most transformational and life-changing. And what I've also incorporated into them, like what I would call what I just said, where they have to sign an agreement to stop self-criticism, that's part of the hypnotic enhancers. And I've added a few hypnotic enhancers to make change on the cellular level so that we really can get people out of their heads and into their hearts and heal their history and be their best version of themselves. So that the system is to get you from where you are to where you want to be. But here, so like I have this one part of the first session of confidence building and ego strengthening of that first session, and it helps you respond resourcefully to the world. But I use these happy pills. I know you've seen them, and I call these hypnotic enhancers. And so while they're in hypnosis, I will get them to respond resourcefully to the world. I'll be installing the 4 L's, and one of them is laughing at things that bother you. So you close your eyes, you're in hypnosis, you're learning from things, now you're laughing at things that used to bother you. And I will literally play these so that you can pick a situation that used to bother you in the past, but instead you laugh and you let it go. And
I love that. And I've got them too, because I bought them from you. So we've got them in our... So play them again.
So yeah, so that's
I love that. So just to recap what Randi said so far. So the first thing she said is so important, which is, you know, when clients first come to us, they're full of self-criticism. And that is the key, is how they perceive themselves and what they keep telling themselves over and over again about who they are. You know, if they've made a mistake, they don't forgive themselves, they are their worst friend, not their best friend. And so what Randi's saying, and it's what we do here at HypnoFit too, it's all about being your own best friend, because you have to be your own best friend first. And so that's the first thing, is to love yourself. And then the second L, which is what Randi just said, is to laugh at yourself. And so by doing these dolls, do them again.
To laugh at things that used to bother you, to see the humor you couldn't see before. Ready?
Love it, love it. Because we take ourselves too seriously, don't we? It's like, you know what? You know, just laugh at yourself. Just laugh at yourself. You know, can I just tell you a little story about that, which is, you know, something that I did was a while ago, a long time ago, when our kids were little. You know, I had a little bit too much to drink at one of the family parties, and I threw grapes at the kids. So I was aiming at them and throwing grapes at them, and you basically hitting them in the forehead with the grapes. And the next day, you know, everyone had a go at me, and I was embarrassed, and I was like, how could I do that? How could I do that? How could I throw grapes at the kids? What a terrible person am I? What a terrible stepmother, you know? And then we went to a party later on that week, and I was telling this lady, you know, what I did. I said, oh, you wouldn't believe what I did. I drank too much last time, and I threw grapes at the kids. And she said, what, you mean like this? And there was a bowl of grapes, and she got the grapes and she threw them at the kids. And she said, just like that. That's funny. So, you know, laugh at yourself. I mean, you don't have to be perfect all the time. Just be human, right?
Yes, it's so important to have your back. I have caught myself so many times not having my back, and then your back hurts, you know, and you wonder why, because you don't have your back.
Yeah, exactly. So I love those little dolls that you've got. We've got them too, and I bought them off you. And I love that, laughing in the hypnosis session where they're laughing at themselves. So we've got love yourself, laugh.
So the 4 L's, the first L is laughing, is learning from things. So what can I learn from this? Asking yourself a resourceful question. So I'm installing these while you're in hypnosis. And the first L is, you from now on, from this moment forward, learn from every single life experience. You ask yourself the resourceful question, well, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Because when you learn something from it, like, which is what that lady showed you, you can let it go. You can move on. You can change how you feel very quickly, just like that. So then the second L is laughing at things that used to bother you, to see the humor. So you can also let it go. And then the third L is letting it go, letting negative thoughts go, letting negative feelings, let negative situations go. And so I go through a whole process. And then the fourth L is loving yourself. So it builds up because to loving yourself. And then I take everyone through a heart breathing process to open the heart and to really get into a loving state and think of a time when you felt very loved, because that's the real you. When you're in a loving vibration, a loving state, then you can be your best version of yourself. Then you're going to have your back. And so it's during that moment where I've opened their heart, I've got them into a loving state, they're breathing in and out love into their heart and out of their heart, so it's around them. And then I ask them if they want a gift. And I tell them the gift is the bracelet, and the bracelet works like this. So you put the bracelet on your wrist, and then the next time you catch yourself saying something negative or critical about yourself, you say stop, you see a big red stop sign, and you immediately change your statement to something positive and truthful. Then you take your bracelet off of that wrist, you put it on the other wrist, and then the next time you catch yourself saying something negative or critical about yourself or the world, you say stop, you see that big red stop sign, and you immediately change your statement to something positive and truthful. Then you take the bracelet off of that wrist and put it on the other wrist, with the goal being able to keep the bracelet on the same wrist for up to 1 day, and then eventually 1 week. But that's how you learn to love and accept yourself, when you stop the self-criticism, and this is a great way to do that.
I love it. I love the 4 L's so much. And really, it gets down to those 4 L's, doesn't it, in terms of our healing. And so a lot of people watching this, because this is on my personal page, and, you know, not everybody on this personal page are hypnotherapists. They might be thinking, oh, yeah, positive woo-woo stuff. But the fact is that every thought that we have in our head creates a neural pathway. And when we keep thinking the same negative things over and over and over again, that becomes the way we think. And then that's the life that we live. So we need to change the way we think, right?
Right, and that's the beauty of hypnosis, is it's a bridge or a door reader subconscious, and 95% of our behaviors are subconscious, and every thought releases a chemical in our body. This is all proven. That's what I love. This is no longer woo. I have so much science backing up everything that I say now, and we can demonstrate what happens in the body when you think negatively. It releases stress chemicals, just like that.
Like that. And you know what? It's exactly what I say to my clients, is that this is not woo-woo. This is science. This is science, and this is completely backed by science. And so there are so many studies now that have backed the power of hypnosis. And, you know, like yourself, Randi, what I hope more than anything is that people understand that they have the healing power within them. And our jobs as hypnotherapists is not to do some magic on them. It is to help unblock the blocks and help them connect to their inner power, because we're all powerful and we all have wisdom. So it's not about magical stuff that we say to our clients. It's helping them connect to their own inner wisdom. And that's what I love more than anything, because everyone has that inner wisdom and that ability to break through those limiting beliefs and thought patterns and go to the other side.
Especially if you work with a hypnotist, if you're stuck, you can make much faster change when you work with a hypnotist, because you can relax, you can see things you couldn't see, you can let go of things. It is so profound and it's so healing. So I love hypnosis, just like you. That's why we want everybody to know about it, because I've hypnotized thousands and thousands of children and adults to break through virtually everything. And the Essential 4, I really believe that 4 sessions, virtually every person on the planet would benefit from going through, so they could upgrade who they are, really believe in themselves and heal their history and be their best self, so you could have your dreams come true.
Absolutely. So with these 4 L's, Randi, let's just go through them again. Number 1 is learning from our experiences, our challenges, our adversities. Yeah?
So ask yourself, when you're in a situation and you don't know what to do or what's going on, you keep replaying it in your mind. Your subconscious you're trying to resolve the issue, but when you keep replaying it, your mind doesn't know whether it's real or imagined, and you're releasing stress chemicals. But the point is, you're trying to learn something. So ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? what can I learn from this? That's a really resourceful question that can lead you to a resourceful answer versus why me or what's wrong with me. What can I learn from this?
And I find that's really powerful as well when I'm going through a really bad situation. And we all have them, right? So, you know, no matter what it appears on Facebook, we all face adversities and challenges and difficult circumstances. But it's not that we don't face them, it's how we react to them that counts. So we all have them. It might appear that we don't, but we all do. I mean, personally, last year, 2018, was one of the hardest years of my life. People didn't see that, but as I was going through challenges, I would ask myself, what am I going to learn from this situation? How am I going to, there's something that this situation that I'm in right now is going to help me in some way, as opposed to why me? It's how is it going to help me? And so that's learning. So let's go through the second one again.
The second one is laughing at things.
Laughing at things.
See the humor that you couldn't see before in your behaviors and other people's behaviors too.
And the third one
is letting things go, letting negative thoughts
go.
Let
it go.
Situations.
Just let it go. Don't worry about why this and why that and why that. It's like a dog chasing its tail. Just let it go. And the fourth one?
And the fourth L brings it all together, loving yourself or learning to love yourself.
Yeah. Learning to love yourself, absolutely. Loving yourself is key. So what Randi has is those 4 L's. It might, you know, sound like, you know, you can easily do that with your clients, but she has a whole protocol and a system in terms of exactly what you need to say in the session. So these are the 4 L's. So show your book, Randi. Yeah, and so that's the resource book, but she now has an online system with the 4 L's. And what Randi has said that she will do with anybody who's watching this today is that if you are interested in her online system, all you need to do is say my name, Helen Midas, and you will get a 10% discount off the retail price. So how do they get in contact with you, Randi?
So I have 2 different trainings coming up, and they're interchangeable, but one is the Essential 4, and it's a 3-day online training, and then I have a past life and age regression training, and they're both training and certification to become an Essential 4 specialist and really include hypnotic enhancers, and it's got scripts. You'll be learning it so that you'll feel comfortable doing it, and it's a certification. But if you want to get a hold of me, you can on Facebook, Randi Light, and I do Facebook Live every week too. It's kind of tricky, but I interview people from Australia, but I just changed the time because it's at 12 o'clock Central American time. But you can reach out. You can go to Randi Light. That's RandiLight, Randi Light, and yes, that's my real name. Everybody always wonders that. But you can go to randilight@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, randilighthypnosis.com, or just Facebook, Randi Light.
Just use Facebook Messenger right here with tag Randi, and say that if you say my name, because you've seen today's little interview, you'll get a 10% discount, because we want you to succeed, because what we want is to get hypnotherapy out there to the masses, so that our profession becomes the go-to and the first port of call, not the last resort. So that's what we want for you. So we can help our clients in the most powerful way, and this is a really great resource. So DM Randi and let her know that you saw today's episode, and you know you'll be entitled to your 10% discount.
Yes, it's been so great. I'm so honored. Thank you for doing this. And you guys, just if you have questions, or just go to my website to find out more. If you're curious, I can talk to you too, okay?
Okay, awesome. Always beautiful watching you and seeing you in action and connecting with my girl. Love you lots. Okay, kisses. See ya.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a good day.